Hey y'all, welcome back. Today is January 24th, and we are on Stitch With Me number... Shoot. Why can I never remember what Stitch With Me we're on? I can remember what floss tube we're on. Did I write it down? 25. Does that sound right? Have I done 25 of these? Jeez Louise. I'm going through and preloading some needles. And I'm doing that in order... Oh, wait, pause. My name's Amy. Welcome to my world of random and crazy. And we are stitching on Severus Snape by the Cross Stitch Salon, which I'm sad to say, I don't know where she went. I had someone ask about another pattern of hers, and I can't find her anywhere. So I don't know if she took everything down. I don't know if she's switching things around and maybe making her own store. I have no idea. She was on Etsy. She was also on Facebook. She was on the Instagram, and now she's completely gone from all three. So I apologize that I don't know if and or where you can find this chart if you are interested. But I do have a couple of questions this time around, which I think will be super nice because that will give me something to talk about and hopefully keep focus, which has been an interesting battle these last couple of weeks. My focus is just, hello, come on, and work with me. My focus is just not there. So I am super excited to see we have quite a few new people joining my journey. It's always fun and exciting. And preloading the last two, and then we'll get started. It is a lot of 939. I'm just going to be working pretty much up and down straight in a row, going right here and just working my way down. So thought I'd go ahead and preload these. I plan on working this... Oh, nuts. I just ruined the evenness of my floss. Okay. I do want to start out by saying, please understand that I am still fairly new to this craft. January this year marks my 3rd year into stitching. I still have so much to learn. And I'm grateful that I get to share my experience and my journey with all of you. Because when I started my floss tube, was that in July-ish? I had been stitching for about 6 months at that point. So, I don't know much, but I will try to help and answer questions when and where I can. If I don't know, we'll chit-chat and talk and kind of help you find the answer you're looking for. I am doing this one on 18 count. 1/1, and the reason why I bring that up is because that is one of the questions that did come up. But let's start with this first one. This first one is, why do you call your phone Linda? So I actually did have someone, Kelly, thank you so much, explain who Linda was to the little boy. But let's start first with, why do I call my phone Linda? So I saw this video on Facebook for what feels like forever and a year ago. I swear the kid's probably like 18 now. But every time I need just a really quick laugh, I Google little boy who argues with Linda. And he pops up every single time. And it's a cute like 2-3 minute video of a little boy arguing with Linda, who is his mom, about why he and his cousin should be allowed to have cupcakes, because when they go over to grandma's house, they don't get to do anything and it's not fun. And he puts up a very cute little debate. And every time Linda tries to say something, he closes his eyes and puts his hands in the air and just, no, listen, Linda, listen, Linda, listen. And that's pretty much his response. And it's adorable. So ever since then, when I have technology, and it doesn't matter what type of technology, if it doesn't listen because it's being stubborn, I call it Linda. So there's that. Because I don't think anyone has ever asked if, like, I have a problem with someone named Linda, because that's definitely not it. It was just because this little boy was arguing, and listen, Linda, was what he kept saying. So that's where I get the listen, Linda from. It's kind of like Bobby, who names all of her electrical things Kevin. Kevin is a good name. Mine is Linda. The second question is, easiest and beginner-friendly HAID patterns for beginners. Okay. I don't have an actual answer for this, and here's my reason. Every HAID, in my opinion, is simple. The reason why I say that is because it's literally just this. It's just X's. The complicated part to HAIDs, especially if you don't have things like Pattern Keeper, or I think I've heard people talk about an app called Goodreads. The complicated part about it is that, especially if there's a lot of confetti, it can mess with your eyes if you're doing a paper chart and you're trying to color complete or do cross country. If you're doing it block by block, it is easier when you're using a paper chart to do it block by block or diagonally. And again, just my opinion. I'm definitely not a professional. Professionalism is not what you're going to find on my channel. I'm not good at it. But in my opinion, HAIDs are simple. There's no back stitching. There's no specialty stitches. There's no beads. It's simple X's. And typically, as long as all your X's are going the same direction, you're going to have the outcome that you're looking for. However, if you're nervous about doing a HAID and you're wondering if, is full coverage really my thing? Here's what I recommend you do. Either go to the freebie page, which Heaven and Earth does have. I think there's 4 or 5 charts up there that are free. And take one of those. They're not minis, so they're a decent size. Like one of them that I have that I'm starting this year is Princess Maui, and she's 400 by 500. So it's not exactly a small chart per se. It's not a super size, but it is a decent size chart, and it's free for you to decide whether or not this is something you're into. Now, I haven't started stitching on her, and I'm not, again, a professional, nor have I actually looked at the pattern to see how much confetti is really involved. But Princess Maui looks like she has quite a bit of block stitching. So that might be easier to find out if full coverage is really your jam. You can also go to a mini, which these are typically smaller in scale, or a quick stitch, which is even smaller. I have a quick stitch in line to do, I think, for Mania. And it is the Quick Stitch Hazel World Giraffe or something like that. And it is not, I mean, it's probably about as big as this, and that's on 28 count. It's very, very small. So I would start there. Find an image that you love and you enjoy, and see if you can find it on the Quick Stitch or the mini charts, and purchase that. And see if the confetti in it is something that you enjoy. Because not a lot of people enjoy confetti, and a ton of people love confetti. So it depends on what kind of stitcher you are. For me personally, I jumped into a HAID in August, my first year stitching, and obviously I have an obsession with them. Full coverage and confetti, I enjoy that. It might sound weird to some, and some might be able to relate. But that's just my thing. So I don't know if there's exactly a beginner-friendly HAID, if that makes any sense at all. It's kind of what is your taste and what type of stitcher are you. What does 2/2 or 1/2 mean? Okay. So I'm going to stop stitching this for just a moment. And this is 18 count Aida, which I am hoping is going to make it really easy for you to see what the difference is. What I'm doing right now is classified as 2/1 stitching. And what that means is that I have 2 threads. So if you look here, on my needle, I have 2 strands, which it's technically 1 strand. I doubled it in order to do the loop start. So this is 2 strands, and I'm going over 1 hole to make a stitch. Okay? So this movement right here, up 1, I'm not skipping anything, I'm going straight into it. That is 2/1. Some people will do 2/2. Now this is more common on your 28, 32, 36, and anything higher, but I think mostly for anything higher, it's pretty much you're doing 2/2. I don't know of a lot of people that will stitch 1/1 on a 40 count or a 50 count or a 56 count, or if there's anything even higher than that. Most of those are done 2/2. And what that means is that you're basically taking your stitches and you're doubling them. So right now I'm stitching on an 18 count. So for every 18 stitches is 1 inch. If I take this stitch and I come up here and I skip this hole right here, I'm hoping you can see that okay. If I skip this hole right diagonally to it and go to the next one, that is me skipping a hole. I'm hoping you can see that okay. And if I pull that through, that is me doing 2 over 2. And if I come up here and come down, I've now done a full stitch 2 over 2. And what that means is if you look here next to it, I'm hoping you can see that. Oh, I don't need to put my hand back there, you're good. I need Linda to focus though. Please focus. Thank you. If you look here, there is 1 box here and 1 box here. This is the 2. And that's what it means. You're going over those 2 boxes to make a stitch. So if you're doing this on 28 count, you divide the 28 by 2 and your stitch is technically a 14 count. If you're doing the stitch on 32 count, it is a 16 count stitch. And if you do it on a 36 count, because now my fabric wants to be stubborn, you'll be doing it on an 18 count. Which means if you do a 36 count and you're doing it 2 over 2 or 1 over 2, depending on how you like your stitches and your floss, 1 over 2 just simply means that you're taking 1 strand and you're stitching with just that 1 strand singly. But my 1 stitch here, this one little guy right here, on a 36 count, 2 over 2, this is the same size. 2 over 2. I'm doing it 2 over 1, but if you did it 1 over 2 or 2 over 2 on a 36 count, this is how big your stitch is going to be. I'm really hoping I was able to make that easily understood. There are quite a few channels that might be able to explain that better. I know for me, I have to listen and watch it like 5 different ways by 5 different people in order to really comprehend what's being said. Another thing is I've had a request to explain the difference between continental versus tent stitching. And again, I am not a professional by any means. I can only share what my knowledge is. And there is a difference between the two. So I'm actually going to do a complete separate tutorial for that. It's probably only going to be a few minutes long, and it's going to be super quick, and I'm going to do it on plastic canvas so it's nice and big and easy to see. So, continental versus tent. Yes, okay. The last question I have for this week is, how many hours do you stitch a day? I'm not ashamed to say I am a stay-at-home mom. And being a stay-at-home mom, I have the luxury of being able to stitch pretty much when I want, whenever I want. For the most part. Don't get me wrong, there are a ton of interruptions. There are plenty of days where as soon as I pick up the needle, somebody needs something. But with everyone being home as of late, I've been able to sit here and just stitch pretty much all day long. So, and it's not a constant, I just spent 12 hours stitching on this one project. That's not typically how it goes. My day typically goes with me first thing in the morning, making sure the kids are all, good to go, everyone's settled. And the hubby and I will go down and have breakfast, depending on if he has any meetings first thing in the morning. We come up, we eat our breakfast, I kind of sit, I read for a little bit, and then I get into stitching. Now, I might only stitch 5 stitches and all of a sudden feel the need to knit something. And then I might knit for 10 minutes and then go, oh, I really should finish that line. And I'll come back and I'll stitch. And then I'll get distracted on my phone because I play Sudoku and these other games on my phone. And then I might go back to reading. And then I might come back and stitch 20 stitches. And then I might knit again or decide to cake one of my yarns because I really want to have that as my next sock. Or I'm planning in my planner or talking to the kids or reading emails about the kids and making sure that they're staying on top of what they need to be doing or doing grocery orders with the husband. So it's not I sit here and literally just stitch and stitch and stitch for hours. I don't actually know how many hours I put in a day. I just know that I'm at the leisure of, if I feel like stitching, I can sit here and stitch. And I understand that I am super, super lucky that I can do that, and I am grateful that I can do that. So that's, I think, the reason why I'm able to put into so many stitches. Because I've had people comment about, wow, you're a really fast stitcher. I don't think that I'm fast at all. I really don't. I know a lot of people have said that I'm super quick, or, the husband has come in and was like, wow, did you just do all that? That was super fast. I don't feel like I'm a fast stitcher. But I do have the luxury, I guess is the word that I'm trying to get around to, of pretty much being able to stitch when I want, whenever I feel like it. And so this year it's been kind of a learning curve from last year of I don't ever want my stitching to be forced. I don't ever want it to feel like it's a job. I don't ever want to find a way to fall out of love with this hobby. Let's put it that way. I enjoy this hobby so much, incredibly more than any other hobby I've done, and I've crocheted for years, and I really thought crochet was my first love. And I mean, it still is, don't get me wrong, but if I have the choice between crocheting something and cross-stitching, chances are I'm choosing cross-stitching. Now, that doesn't mean I don't crochet. I still have my son's blanket that needs to be finished. And I just finished my daughter's mandala blanket. And I have a pair of socks that I'm knitting, on the little arm of my couch downstairs. So my hands are constantly busy, and I realize now, like, I've never had that problem before where I had to have my hands busy at all times. But I'm noticing that after last year, it's really helping, constantly keeping my hands busy. Whether it's we're sitting down and watching a movie or TV show or whatever, and I'm sitting there knitting round and round in the socks. I don't really like to stitch when I'm down there because we do turn off the lights, so it is a little harder to see, but we have like a little hallway light that we use, and I sit right next to that hallway light. Well, not right next to it, but close enough to where I can see what I'm doing when I'm knitting, but not when I'm cross-stitching. So I've never been like that before, which still strikes me as odd because, again, I used to be able to sit still and not have a problem. And over this last year, I've noticed more and more that if I sit still, I feel like I'm missing something. I don't know if that makes sense. I mean, I'm sure it makes sense to somebody, but if I'm just sitting there and I don't have my hands busy with something, I feel like something is literally missing. And I've never felt that way before about anything, any of my crafting. Are you just like stuck? What's going on here? Okay, little fuzz. But as of late, that's kind of where I'm at. I have to have something in my hands. And I've heard people talk about that before, where like, if they're in a meeting or something, if they knit, they actually pay attention better. But I never really understood or grasped it. So I literally sit in this chair for many hours a day and do many different things in this chair. Now that I think about that, it's kind of surprising. But yeah, I always have to have something in my hands, it seems like. And I think that's it for questions. So if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. Again, I am definitely not a professional in any way, shape, or form. I am still very new to this craft, and I only have so much experience. So I'm learning a little bit about samplers because I'm doing one now, which still blows my mind, because had you told me 3 years ago that I'd be doing a sampler, I probably would have laughed in your face. I'm doing a Quaker pattern. I think it's a Quaker. See, and that's maybe something someone can answer for me. What defines a Quaker? I don't know. I have the One Nation, which is the flag, with all of the state names in it. And I keep hearing people talk about how that's a Quaker. Oh, shoot. What line am I on? 1, 2. Okay, good. I did highlight. Just checking. I hear people talk about how it's a Quaker pattern, but I don't know what defines it as a Quaker. Or you hear people use the word motif. What defines a motif? Like, is there a specific thing that makes it a motif, or is it just because it's a small piece of the pattern? I'm not sure. See, these are things that I need to look up because I'd like to learn. I'm also planning on doing a shadow lane someday. And someday is sometime this year. Because I promised myself I would start. I was going to force myself to start it. That is one thing I'm going to force myself to do. I don't know when. I have a feeling it's probably going to be around my birthday because I'm going to push it that late in the year. But I'm only scared of it because it's got stitches in it I've never heard of. But I don't want to be afraid of it forever, so I'm just going to have to start and just start. I have to start somewhere. But I also, before I start that one, I would also like to purchase the PDF for it because I hear that the PDF has a way better, how do I word this? You can see the difference in stitches way better on the PDF because the PDF is colored. Whereas the paper pattern, it's all black and white. And so sometimes it's really hard to tell the difference between what stitches you should be doing versus what you are doing. So, and from what I understand, these patterns they're not very easy to read. There are a lot of groups out there who have plenty of experience. I have 2 friends that I know that I can call upon, that I just could reach out and be like, hey, I am completely at a loss. What do I do? And they are, in my opinion, both very, very experienced. So definitely reaching out if I need help. And where did my needle go? You're stuck. Okay. Jeez Louise. So that was my questions. The husband and I did find a tag. Probably going to get him involved somewhere, somehow. I have a feeling it's going to go on my second tier of videos for part of the randoms. See how much he knows about cross stitch. I have to say I was pretty impressed. I actually knew all the answers, which I didn't think I did. I think there was like 2 or 3 of them where I kind of guessed. But I still got it. So, and people keep finding all these tags, and I keep forgetting to ask, where are we finding the tags? Because I don't know if there's a specific word that we need to look up. Whoops. To find questions. And I know my friend told me about a blog spot that has like a ton of tags on it or whatever, but her and I talk so much that scrolling back I still can't figure out what blog she told me to look at. Might have to just send her a message. So I think I'm going to finish this. Why am I going back and forth? What happened? I was doing I don't know. And literally this is how quick it happens. I don't know if anybody else realized that. But I was doing one leg at a time. And now I'm doing stitch by stitch. I don't know. It literally just happens. I didn't even realize I was doing it. Oy vey. Some days it's hard to be me. And today is one of those days. But it's alright. It's fine. This happens a lot. So if you look at my backs on a lot of my projects where there's block stitching, you will see that there are lines and then there are crosses on the back because I didn't remember that I was doing one leg at a time. It's fine though. Everything's fine. I must have done that on the last row and didn't even realize I was doing it. That's the only way I could have done it. I ended up over here and yeah, okay. Well, so that happened. It's fine though. My X's still look like X's. I'm going to finish off this little row here. Oh, this is way short. Wow. Nothing else to talk about? Anything else that got on this week? Not really. Well, shoot. I really thought, see, this is what happened when I stay focused. I stay so focused that I stay right where I'm supposed to be. And now I can't think of anything else to talk about because I didn't start off with the random stuff. Well, I guess we can throw it out here at the end. Coffee link is down below. Again, like I said, that money is being saved for the PDF chart for my shadow lane, which is Japanese garden. Why do I feel like I have a loose thread back here? Because I do. Now the next question is how worried am I about that? Because part of me feels like I'm not. Nope, not worried about it. It's fine. Sometimes I don't get to pull my threads all the way through, so I'll get a little knot in the back, but I'm not too worried about it. What was I saying? Oh yeah, PDF chart. Apparently that is a major, major help when it comes to shadow lines. My join membership, which will also be linked down below. It's a nice small group. Tier 1, you get my pictures every night before I go to bed. I was doing daily photos of like my starting point, but as of late, a lot of my starting points are either from the night before or they're brand new starts. So what I've been doing is posting up photos of what I finished for the day. Oh, see, I'm doing it again. Yep. Okay. I don't know why every time I turn on the record, I end up on a struggle bus. I don't know. I don't know. Always on a struggle bus. Okay, let's try that again. What were we talking about? Oh, join memberships. I love the fact that it's a small little tight-knit group. And if more people want to join, more than welcome. We'd love to have you. I think we're a fun group. We laugh a lot. Let me just say that. We laugh a lot. And I have so enjoyed the conversations that we've had. Some have been very, like, not necessarily serious conversations, but there has been political talk and points of views, and we've all been able to handle it like adults, which has been very nice. There have been random conversations, like if y'all think I'm random over here, when us ladies get together, it gets... Oh, see? Is mine not on top now? What just happened? Am I seeing things? I can't see. I just rubbed my eye. Because allergies are alive and well. Nope, we're good. Okay, seeing things. Anyways, random conversations over there are super fun. So, I don't think we have any gentlemen. I think I'm safe to say that it's all women in the group so far. And I have to count on this row. Because why not? Whoops. Jeez Louise. Skip to, okay. And yeah, I showed off my nails last week. And I'll pop them in here again, but I don't think the husband's gonna put a name or edit. But it's Bordeaux Glitz. It's the same ones I have from last week. You can kind of see my nail growth coming in there. And my not that they're chipped, but you can see they're kind of rubbed. I was supposed to change them today, but as a football fan, today was a very sad day for us. Especially if you are a Packers fan, you know what I'm saying. So, I don't even know who won the next game. I'm sure I'll find out as soon as I'm done recording. And we will know who is in the Super Bowl. So, I think that's in 2 weeks. Don't think I'll be doing my live that weekend. I think it's the opposite weekend. I try to alternate. I do my best. Okay, does that look wrong to anyone else but me? I don't even know if you guys can see it. Something here just does not look right. I don't know if I have a poofy stitch. Alright, hold on. Might just be poofy. This thing is called a snag nabbit. Nope. And it's got a nice, like, rough edge on the side. So that way you can just take and poke. And I just kind of put it at an angle and pull the thread through if there's anything funky going on there. Do the next one just in case. So if you ever have a loose thread pop up, that's a good way to smooth it back down. That looks better, I think. Kind of. Yeah, it looks better. I'll take it. That's fine. Alright, I think I'm going to finish this row here. I think I said that on the last one, and then I got confused because I was stitching all weird. Not weird, just I didn't realize I was stitching differently from how I originally started. Which again, that happens to me all the time. Anyone else? Anyone else? Please tell me there's someone else out there who gets it. You start off by doing one leg, and next thing you know, you're crossing one X at a time. I think the reason why is because I'm getting in the habit of one X at a time because of all the variegated flosses that I'm doing. And so with those, I have to do one X at a time. I mean, you don't have to, but I'm choosing to. Let me rephrase. Choosing to do one X at a time. All right, let's see if I can actually remember to do this today. Oh, there's not very many stitches. Why is my, oh, because I just showed, couldn't figure out why my camera was so dim. Okay. I got 126 stitches in 30 minutes. Wow, I was actually kind of slow, especially since it was a straight. You know what? It's because I had to concentrate. That's what I'm blaming it on. All right. On that note, I'm going to bid you adieu. Say farewell, stay random, don't kiss your projects, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye.